You know, I was a school teacher before I was a rock star, and so I had a certain idea of myself as a citizen. You know, I paid tax, I voted, I had a pension plan, I had a salary and a profession. Yeah. So I didn't just go into being a rock star without any of that. Yeah. So carrying on those citizens' responsibilities and those citizens' rights that you have, it just seems natural to me where you can help, to help. Yeah. Often you're given a platform to speak. You're asked a question about something serious. You have to be coherent. It's not necessary. I'm not saying that we all have to. It just seems natural to me to try and do something. But then you learn politics. Because sometimes you can say you're easily knocked down, easily caricatured. So I think you have to get political very quickly. Yeah. Know when to speak.
Yeah. And the rainforest is of all the things you're involved in, that is the thing that is probably most familiar to people.
That's true, but I don't think you can separate any of the issues that we face as a crisis from any other. You can't separate human rights from the ecology. I think it's all really about levels of consciousness. You know, all the problems we face are about consciousness. Our environmental problem is we're basically unconscious. We burn fuel to get energy where we live in a cosmos that's full of energy. It's free. Yeah. Why? It's a low level of consciousness that burns fuel, and I'm part of that. So my whole thing about human rights and the ecology is that we have to get a higher level of understanding.
And you found Chile, I was about to do a terrible accidental pun of saying a chilling experience, but you found Chile particularly moving.
I had a long history with Chile. I went to Chile during the Pinochet years, and I met the mothers of the disappeared. And then I returned there a few years later and played in the stadium where a lot of their fathers, husbands, brothers had been murdered, and performed with these mothers. And I would say it's probably the most emotional of my life, the most emotional occasion when I was on stage, having that reality brought home to me. You know, how intense that must have been.
Yes, because someone told me that when they went to the, whatever is the stadium, whatever, that on the walls in the internal part of the building, the blood stains were still there.
It was still there. This is in Vina del Mar.
It was absolutely horrendous, that, wasn't it? Absolutely horrendous. But of all the causes, I mean, there are so many now, aren't there, as you say? I mean, there's so many needs, there's so many plangent needs that people have, don't they?
They are connected, though.
They are, almost all of them, you think?
I would say so. I would say they're connected.
And what about all forms of music that you participate in? They're all intimately connected, are they?
Well, I'm led by my curiosity. You know, I'm still a student of music. I like to learn something new all the time. I don't necessarily take the categorization of music terribly seriously. I mean, I can't play Rachmaninoff's Third Piano Concerto, but the basic building blocks that my music and that music's made from are the same. And so it's lovely to play with a symphony orchestra and to try and bring the barriers down. I think it's not like the old days, you know, when people would look down their nose at pop musicians and say, "Oh, I can't play this music."
Quite the reverse. And what you're doing here with the symphonic orchestras is a special form of music too, isn't it? I mean, have you done that before this last world tour?
You know, I've worked with orchestras occasionally on the Grammys or on the Oscars, just a sort of one-off. I've never actually put a program of a whole evening together. Luckily, the songs themselves have enough harmonic movement within them to warrant a symphony orchestra playing them. So, and also I've stolen a lot of classical music anyway. I've stolen from the best, as we do. I've stolen from Bach and Prokofiev and Mussorgsky. So that's easy to do. Not difficult.
Not difficult.
No.
So are there, in addition to the causes you would like to advance and so on, what are the things you haven't done yet that you want to do in your life?
You know, I want to get better as a musician.
Yeah.
I'm curious about the future of music. I think, you know, there's a crisis in music. We're not sure how to advance. We're not sure where it's going. It's a big wall. And so I'm very curious about what's on the other side of it. I'm not sure how to get around it or under it or, you know, over
Around
it.
the other side of it. Yeah.
There's something there. There's something happening.
Do you think, are you someone who feels there's a God there?
What am I? I'm probably a deist. Yeah, I believe in some intelligence out there, but you know, over a massive cosmic period, I'm not sure I believe in. I'm not a religious person. I don't belong to a religion, but I have an idea of something beyond our understanding. That's all I could say.
I remember I was once interviewing Isaac Asimov, who's an atheist, and I was saying, but he was saying he didn't believe in God, and I said, yes, but is there a force that we don't know about? And he said, well, there may be, but if there is, we don't know about it, which was the perfect reply to an ineptly phrased question. But so that you don't worry too much about the afterlife and things like that.
I think this life is fascinating enough. I mean, what we know of the cosmos is incredibly fascinating. But I don't know. I think, you know, the word agnostic means I don't know.
Yeah,
I would say I'm agnostic.
And maybe or maybe not, yes.
I haven't a clue.
There's the man who said famously, I'm an atheist, thank God, which was a perfect one. So what is your main ambition for your 6 children?
If I've ever given them a piece of advice, it was to find a job like mine, where they would do it for no money. They'd do it because they love it. If they want to play music, they do it because music has its own reward, its own value, not to become famous, not to become wealthy. And they would say, well, you know, it's okay for you, Dad, you've done both of those things. I say, no, but the truth is, despite that, the truth is, music is its own reward. Look for that, or art, acting. Whatever you do, do it for love.
And Harper's Bazaar had a tribute to you both here. You probably remember this quote. Styler's legs look like those of a 20-year-old rockette, true and lovely, and while Sting's toned, wasn't it? Yes. Sting's toned torso is giving off a little bit of Baryshnikov. That's a pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Double act, isn't it?
I'll go with that. I'll go with that.
Can't do better than that. It's a delight to have this chance to talk to.
Thank you.
The Gaddafi regime's refusal to budge in the face of street protests and its remorseless killing of an estimated 1,000 unarmed Libyans has led to huge dismay abroad, not least in Libya's former colonial master, Italy, which fears a massive influx of refugees. Italy's President Berlusconi has long been a close friend and ally of Gaddafi, and he is desperately trying at the moment to adapt to this new and uncertain situation. The former European Commissioner and leading opposition senator, Emma Bonino, has a particular interest in the current